If you're feeling depressed, lonely, anxious, or any anxiety, stay here, you want to watch this. Hi, my name is Sofia Rodriguez. I am 16 years old and welcome to my channel. I am a traditional Catholic, I am homeschooled, and I have a dog. I love baking, I love snow, I love swimming, I love winter, it's my favorite season. And most of all, I love my faith. And on this channel, I am mostly going to be talking about why it is important to get closer and better in your faith, as well as some makeup tutorials and beauty tips, because I also love beauty. So without any further ado, let's roll right into the video. So every single episode, I'm going to have 5 points in one topic that I'm going to be talking about. And today's topic is depression. I have 5 points on this, so if you're dealing through depression and you have that right now, stick with this. Grab a paper, a pencil, write down some notes so that you can try to better yourself. As someone who has had depression before, I am not speaking out of context, and I'm not speaking out of someone that had no idea what the heck depression was. Primarily, depression is when a person feels lost, hopeless, and worthless, essentially, and they feel like they can't do anything, which ultimately brings them to things like self-harm or really bad things like that that you don't want to have to go through. Depression can also give you really bad ideas and really bad memories that you do not want to carry for the rest of your life. Depression is also primarily caused with trauma. There has to be some trauma behind the depression, which is why it happens to so many teenage girls today. Many people will say it's a normal thing, and I hate to say that it is a normal thing among this society, but it's true. It is, but it shouldn't be. Teenage girls deserve to have that faithful teenage years, to be happy, healthy, and strong, and ultimately strong-willed in their faith. And so with all that being said, that leads me to my first topic. My first topic for depression is, number 1, it distorts your true identity in Christ. What does that mean? Let's dive a little bit deeper into this. Well, this is what makes you feel worthless. It makes you feel like a mistake. It makes you feel hopeless, right? Because when you're depressed, most of the time, 9 times out of 10, you're feeling any of these emotions. Really look into it, you'll know that God is the one that made you. And how can someone that made you, that makes no mistakes, make a mistake? It's not possible. It's not possible at all. And so there's no reason for you to be a mistake, because you're not. The truth is that you are not. And I say that with full faith in you. What also distorts your true identity in Christ, your depression, is by you believing that your performance and your mood is what can counteract any good thing that you do. Your performance and your mood is what you're valued upon, which is not true, because anybody can have a bad day. But it does not mean that you are no good and you are garbage, because that's just not true. God made us in His image. Now, I'm not saying that we are perfect just like Him, because we're not. We were born with original sin, okay? He wasn't. He's an exception, because He's Jesus, of course, and He's God, of course. But we are made in His image. And so why would He come in man form just to say that we are not good enough, that we shouldn't be like Him? Because we should try our very best to be like Him. And when the enemy gets a teenager in depression in their most vulnerable stages, it is so easy for him to entrap you, ensnare you, and lure you to the wrong way of life, to leaving God, because you think, well, what's the point, right? What's the point? Everything I do, my mood is always down, my performance level is below average, therefore, I am worthless. I have no value at all whatsoever. That's the enemy talking to you. Do you really think God would say that to you? No, He wouldn't. The truth is, He wouldn't. Who will say it to you is the enemy, because he wants to come to you and say, hey, you're feeling this way, and so God must be telling you you're worthless, right? That's where he starts to play those little mind games on you, and it can be really, really, really hard. And that's when so many people go down from there, and it just keeps getting worse and worse and worse. Which brings me to my second point, that it can create a spiritual difference. Now let's elaborate on this because it can be kind of iffy and misunderstood. Spiritual difference is when you start having the valuelessness of yourself. You start to think, well, if God was all good and he was amazing, why would he create a mistake? And those are thoughts that go through your head during depression. It essentially creates a spiritual fog that God does not intend for anyone to have. Yes, God does intend for us to have some struggles. He always does, because we need struggles to better ourselves. But the enemy is also part of those struggles, and he can come into them and make it worse. And it is your choice to either let the enemy win or to choose faith. But by depression causing a spiritual fog, what it will essentially do is bring you farther away from God than closer to him, because you're just going to keep thinking that I'm a mistake, I am no good, God doesn't like me, God left me, God abandoned me, I am worthless. That's what you can keep thinking. And that is not true. None of that is true. You're not worthless. You are just hurting. You are in a state of depression where you need God the most. You need to surrender into his arms like never before. And you can't do that when the enemy is attacking you and you are letting him. This is why having a friend is so, and I cannot stress it enough, so incredibly important to have that one friend, that just one friend, the one friend that you can go and talk to and you can say, hey, please keep me on check. And I know not everyone's gonna have 10,000 friends, because one friend is better than 10,000 fake friends, right? When you have that one friend or family member that is for keeping yourself in that state of hope and instead of that state of failure, what you're doing is ensuring that there's that extra helping hand that you can lean onto. You know, that shoulder you can go cry on when you are feeling your worst, or your ugliest, your whole hopelessness. You can solely lean onto them, and they will bring you closer to God, not far away from them, because you need someone that is faith-based and that can give you the best advice as a friend. And on the topic of friends, this brings me to my third point. Depression can also drive you away from community and ultimately isolate you. This means that while you're in a depressive state, if you haven't noticed, you probably want to be alone so much more than you want to be with community. When you are depressed and you are going through the motions, you must have that community that you can latch onto. Now, not bad community, not those friends that do alcohol, drugs, worse things. Shouldn't be around them, especially in your most depressive moments. You should be around that group that's going to be talking about the Bible, talking about Jesus, saying how you can make it, you can do it through him, with him, in him, you can. But you cannot go around those people who are going to say, those other people that are mean to you, you know, you should just bash them and you should just curse them because they are the worst people in the world. And you need to go do alcohol because that's going to take your mind off of things. You need to go do those drugs because those are going to help you. I am telling you, honey, that is worse. All that's going to do is take your depression from a 50 to a 75 to a 100, and it's going to get worse and worse and worse. You ultimately do not want to be around bad influence while you're already under the influence of depression. I stress this so much because when I was under depression and I was going through it, I needed that one person to talk to. And that can also be a therapist, a counselor, someone that can help you and can teach you better ways. That is why I think it's so important to have at least someone to talk to, so you are not entirely alone and isolated, because that's all depression wants from you. This brings me to my next topic. It is that it drains your energy for your God-given purpose. Now, again, what does this mean? It means that it drains your physicality to do things that God intended for you to do. That could be exercising, it could be going to help in charity, it could be going to church, going to mass, things that are crucial for you to get closer to God. And it can also drain your God-given purpose mentally. It can mean that you're going to stop praying the rosary because you just don't feel like it. You feel too tired. You want to go to sleep. And you don't think about praying. You don't think about praying rosary. You don't think about helping others. It can really, really mess you up. And that is what you want to avoid so much. It can also make things feel exponentially impossible and so far away from your reach that you used to be able to achieve. Now you can barely get out of bed. You can see how this could really mess you up from a day-to-day basis. By having this depression, you can feel like you can't do anything. If you do something, you're gonna mess it up. That's what you're feeling like. If you do something, you're worthless, and so your value has sank. And now you have a value to you now, when you don't have a value to you in the beginning. Isn't that crazy? Isn't that crazy? You put a value on yourself, and now you cannot do things God intended for you to do. This is what the enemy ultimately wants. He wants you down. Feeling like it is impossible for you to do anything. It's impossible for you to get up and thank God. Because you get up and you're thinking about your trauma. You're thinking about depression. And that is so hard. And it's so sad, honestly, to see someone struggling through that. It can honestly really mess you up. And this is why it is important to talk to it about someone. This is why what really helped me was journaling. It's not for everyone, but journaling was a really big thing for me. It was something that I was able to write down all of my emotions, and it couldn't tell me anything. It couldn't get upset at me for feeling what I'm feeling. It validated what I felt, and I would read it back and be like, man, that is how I feel. Like something actually listened to me. And it really helped me to talk about and put into words what I am feeling, because all the time, so many times when you have depression, you just want to put into words what you feel. And when you talk to someone, you just get so caught up in your feelings, you can't even say it right. But on paper, you're just writing. And it is simple, it is easy, and you can do it. This is why I encourage that so much, along with having that one friend that you can talk to. And this brings me to my final topic, which is that it shifts your primary focus to a temporary darkness. Instead of waking up and having that ounce of hope, you're waking up in despair. You're waking up in darkness. You're waking up wanting to be by yourself. No prayer, nothing. You're waking up feeling hopeless. And this can last a lifetime if you do not get it under control. It can essentially make you forget how to even help yourself. It can make you forget any coping mechanism. It can make you forget absolutely everything of how to help and heal yourself. This is dangerous, and it is a very bad place to get to. Once you're in this deep, it is exponentially hard to get out of it. This is why I encourage, even when you are in your darkest moments, have a small prayer right where you wake up, where you can look at it and you can read it and you can honestly pray. This is why when you are this deep in depression, I also really encourage having a planner. When you are in depression, it is very hard to plan because your brain is not thinking of planning, and you really don't want to do responsibilities. So it's having that spiritual fog and all the mental fog and everything. But I encourage you to write down every detail of what you need to do the next day and do it. Write it down and stick it somewhere where you're going to see it every single day, probably every 30 minutes a day. That is important because it's going to remind you, hey, I have this to do. And then at the end of the day, when you look back at everything you did, you're going to be like, I actually did everything I intended to do today. I feel really good. That is the beauty of it. Then you look back and be like, I actually did something good today. And you could thank God for that thing. You see, like the mind games that your mind can play on you? I went through this and I saw what could help. I saw how it changed me. If you look at me 2 years ago, I'm not the same person. Right now, if I look back, I'm not proud of her. She was hurting. She was going through pain. But you know what? I had someone help me. I had help. And that's why I want to be your help. I want to be the person that you come to just talk to. I want to be the person that gives you good advice. That friend that gives you good advice. I don't want to be the friend to give you bad advice of drugs, alcohol, and a monstrosity of other things. I want to be the friend that is helping you get better through Jesus, through your faith, and it's going to help you put your 2 feet in this world and make you a whole better person. Because you don't want to be the friend that is giving bad advice. When you grow up, what friends are you really going to have? When you see the world for what it is, what friends are you going to have? They're not going to be there, and you're going to feel hopeless again. And so I am trying to be your friend to tell you that you are perfect. Yes, you have flaws. I have them. We all have them. We all have to face our giants. But you know what? Even the smallest actual faith in God can move mountains. Thank you so much for watching this through if you have made it. Please comment down below what you would like me to talk about next or what things you want tips and advice on. Please subscribe to my channel. Turn on your notifications so you get notified every single time I make a new video. I do intend to make longer form videos. This is what I got for now. Please send this to a friend that you know is dealing with depression. And if you need help, go get help. It's not a bad thing. You need it, you get it. Also, please go follow my Instagram at official Sofia Rodriguez. It'll be down in the description box. I hope that this spoke to you in any way, and I hope to help you get closer in your faith and closer to God. I will see you guys on the next one. Bye!